Hello, legends anywhere, anytime. This is Zach of SomeDudePlays.com, welcoming everyone back to part 164 of Fire Emblem Three Houses Blue Lions. So, after I finished part 163, I had a bit of an epiphany. So, as I was looking at my supports, I realized I was kind of going about this the wrong way. So what I should be focused on is making sure that characters such as Annette, Ingrid, Flane, and Seteth, because they're the ones I usually use in my story playthrough, have their supports done. So all the main Blue Lions characters. And then I was going through and I realized I can shorten the amount of videos I do for now, spread things out a bit more, if I only focus on the ones that still have supports left to go. So like with Caspar, we would do his Linhardt, Bernadetta, Petra, Hilda, and then of course he still has 3 for Hilda, 2 for Catherine, 3 for Shamir, and then 1 for those other 3 characters I listed, plus 1 for Byleth. So that should greatly lower the amount I have to go through. Like luckily for Gilbert, right now I only have to do Ashe and Annette. I can ignore Hanneman, Manuela, and Alois because that's the final support. So let's start with him and his daughter Annette.
Praying, Father?
Yes, praying is all I can do. For I am at fault for each death upon the cursed plain of Duscur.
You keep saying it's your fault, Father, but you're wrong. His Highness doesn't blame you. Neither does King Lambert, I'm sure of it.
Now we finally get to the cusp of Gilbert's history and why he kind of left his family there.
But I guess that's not the issue for you, is it?
It was my duty to protect the royal family. I should have given my life to protect the king.
So basically, Gilbert's main problem is survivor's guilt and PTSD.
Even if His Highness has forgiven me, my knightly vows are still broken. My knighthood is lost.
That's obvious from looking at you, Father. I think Mother understood it as well. But before fleeing the country, I wish you had thought about your family. If only for a moment. Even if the whole world had condemned you, we would always have been your allies.
But he did not want to put that burden on his brother, his wife, or Annette.
I am sorry, Annette.
No, I told you before. I don't particularly want you to apologize.
Annette.
Yes, Father?
Take this.
A bundle of letters. There are so many.
All the ones he didn't send, I believe.
Look inside and you will understand. Should the contents make you sad, please burn them.
Father! For the love of... He's done it again! But what have we here? Just as I thought. Letters for me and Mother. And so many. But why? And how? I suppose I'll have to read them if I hope to find my answers.
And we will see them in the A+ support. So yeah, things are starting to get down to business there. Yeah, so we can't do Dimitri until after this chapter, but... yeah, I'll finish up with Ashe because, like I said, focus on the characters you use mainly for your supports, and then move on to others.
Is something the matter? Your heart does not seem to be in your training today.
I'm sorry. Something's been bothering me.
Idle thoughts do hinder training. Tell me what bothers you.
You were sworn to protect the royal family. But when we met 5 years ago, you weren't in the kingdom capital. You were in Garreg Mach. What could have made a great knight like you abandon his vow?
He failed.
That is difficult to explain. You are aware of the tragedy of Duscur? when the king's party was massacred 9 years ago.
I am. It affected me too. My brother was suspected of being involved in the attack. And so the church, they...
Forgive me. That must be a difficult memory.
Yep.
Why are you apologizing? It's not your fault.
And that was kind of caused by Catherine.
I disagree. Had I been by His Majesty's side on that day where I was sworn to be, perhaps His Majesty would not have lost his life, and all would be different.
No, Gilbert, you'd be just another body on the ground.
Is that why you left Fargus?
Yes, you may laugh, but I feel I was responsible for everything.
I would never laugh at something like that. But I do think you should have seen things through to the end. Even if you had to endure dishonor for a while, you could have restored your name. I'm sorry.
Always thinking of the positives, Ashe.
That was inconsiderate of me. I got carried away by how much your situation resembles my own.
You were adopted by Lord Lonato, correct? I once told you that I wish to protect one thing other than my king, and that is my family.
And that's why he ran.
My wife and my daughter, both of whom I left behind in the kingdom.
It includes his brother as well.
Lord Lonato took up his sword for his son, even if that meant turning his back on the goddess. As a father, I cannot condemn Lord Lonato for raising an army. Yet, perhaps he too lost sight of what should be protected, just as I did.
I don't understand what you mean. What should Lonato have protected?
You, Ashe, because you are also his son.
Yep.
You're right. I think I know what I need to protect now. It's been staring me in the face all this time. I don't know why I couldn't see it. I'm Lonato's son. His pride and his wishes are my inheritance. Those are what I should protect.
I see. Ashe, you will be an excellent knight.
It's too early to say that, but I'm willing to learn if you'll teach me.
It would be my pleasure to oversee the training of a new generation.
Yep. So that is actually one of the better supports. It's kind of sad that it only goes up to B rank. But yeah, we'll continue with Ashe here and finish that off. And then, like I said, we'll do Annette and Ingrid. Get them done and finished. So let's go with Marianne here.
Oh, is that Marianne?
Hmm?
Ah, no, sorry. It's just you turned so quickly. It gave me a start. I don't mean to interrupt your prayers, but what's with that posture? Don't you think lowering your head so much might, I don't know, offend the goddess? Maybe, spook her a little?
I'm not praying, only confessing.
Confessing? What are you confessing for?
For everything about me.
That can't possibly be necessary.
Oh, I agree, Ashe. It's just Marianne has such a low self-esteem.
There's no way you're as bad as you make it seem. I've seen how kind you are with the horses, and I've noticed you're always sensitive to everyone's tastes when you cook.
But that's...
Yeah, well, if either of us is going to confess, it should be me. I used to be a thief. I may have only stolen because I was poor and starving, but it was still wrong.
And you have to remember from a previous conversation, he kind of got consumed by it, but it was still doing it basically because he was looking after his siblings.
I'm only even here thanks to Lonato. He gave me a second chance, and now I eat well every day. I'm doing all I can to make the most of it. You're a noble yourself, aren't you? The daughter of Margrave Edmund, I think. And if you're a noble, that means... Do you happen to have a crest?
A crest? I do, but it's...
I knew it. That's great, Marianne.
There's nothing great about it.
Please, don't be modest. It's an extraordinary gift. You should be proud of it. If I had one, I'd use it to make sure my brother and sister never had to live in poverty.
The problem with that, Ashe, is crests are also a curse.
Think about all the good you could do for the world with your power.
No, I can't. You don't understand. This crest is worthless. I'm sorry, but I must go.
No, not again. I'm not good at this.
Yeah, kind of a somber end there, but I believe they'll figure it out in the next port.
Over here, Petra.
Ashe, I do not have familiarity with this alley.
That's all right. This is the place I was talking about. It's not much to look at, but the food's incredible.
So a nice little out-of-the-way eatery.
Here you are, friends. Enjoy your meal.
Looks great. Let's dig in.
Okay, I will be giving this my try. Oh, it has a delicious flavor. Ashe, what is this dish being called?
I'm not sure it has a name. They just kind of throw together whatever they've got. But that means you never eat the same dish twice. Not knowing what you'll get is part of the fun.
A dish of infinite varieties. You would not be finding such a wonder in a restaurant for nobles. A commoner technique indeed. I give you my gratitude, Ashe. I have learned a great many things about the commoner techniques.
No need to be so formal. I like showing you around. Not many people want to come to places like this.
But I am feeling that our deal has been very one-sided. Are you sure you are not needing anything in exchange?
I'm pretty sure Ashe doesn't. He's just that nice of a person.
If you are not wanting any curses, I can offer other information in trade.
Hey, come on, stop that.
Stop that? What am I stopping?
Talking about payment. You don't owe me anything. We're friends, aren't we? Friends don't pay each other for the time they spend together.
You and I are friends? Are you speaking truth?
I hope so, at least. So why don't we just talk about whatever we'd like, okay?
Yeah, that's the thing. As a political hostage, Petra doesn't have many friends.
I have understanding. I will now be speaking whatever I wish. You are my friend. There are many things I am wishing for you to know.
And the final one for Ashe was with Caspar.
Go on, eat up. Oh wow, you're really going at it.
Of course, it's a cat.
Still hungry, huh? You're a greedy little fellow.
That cat's gonna end up being fat. It is so playing those for both Caspar and Ashe's fools.
Oh, here he comes, right on time. The food's all ready to go. Huh? Ashe, what are you doing here?
Caspar, I was just, Hey, hang on a second. Did you come here to feed the cat too?
Feed? Oh, I don't know what you're... Wait, did you say two? Is that what you're doing?
I have been for a while. I had no idea you were doing the same.
I was just worried about the guy. I didn't want someone else to find him and hurt him. I figured it would be best to watch out for him. You know me, defender of the helpless.
Well, the one thing about cats is they're very good at taking care of rodents, which you don't want in your food stores, especially in a medieval period time frame.
More importantly, though, what's your excuse?
I didn't want him stealing more supplies, so I figured I'd take care of him. Guess we're not so different after all, are we?
And here it looks like the kitty was stealing supplies in a different way by getting them willingly given.
Yeah, I guess we're not. Deep down.
Since you're here, why don't you feed this little guy what you brought him?
Oh yeah! I've got something good.
Looks like it. Hey, where did you get that?
Get what?
It looks awfully fresh. You didn't take that from the kitchen, did you?
Is that some dried fish and vegetables? Looks like someone's leftovers.
Well, never mind how I got mine. What about yours?
I'm a defender of the helpless. You really think I'd steal some food for a cat?
Yeah, so it looks like Ashe is getting the food that's going to be thrown away to give to the cat, while Caspar is doing something that may be a little bit in the gray area of getting fresh food for the cat.
I got it by fighting an old guy in the dining hall. I won it fair and square.
You started a fight over that?
No! The old guy started a fight, then I took his dinner as a prize. Aw, you love this meat, don't you? And you love when I fight, don't you?
Meow, 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 meow.
Well, this cat's happy, so I'll let you off easy just this once. You're lucky he's so cute.
And of course, they just had a voice actor do the meowing. So, Annette and Hanneman.
There's a lot of dust there. It looks like nobody's cleaned it in ages. No, I just can't leave it. It must be cleaned. Oh, can't quite reach. Just a little further.
Accident happening in 3, 2, 1.
Only I was taller.
Miss Annette, if you carry on like that, I dare say the bookshelf shall give out in a few moments' time.
Professor Hanneman! Thank you so much. There was just so much dust up there.
Of course, Hanneman had to be there to stop it.
I understand. I had noticed it myself, actually, and was just on my way to get a cloth for it. How about you leave this part to me?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, leave it to the guy that's tall
No need
enough.
to thank me. I must admit, I'm rather impressed by your keen dust-spotting eye.
I just couldn't rest easy thinking that we hadn't finished cleaning in here.
I'm quite the same. How anyone can abide dust, even hidden dust, well, I can't grasp the idea.
You and I are like two peas in a pod. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a bit rude of me.
We do seem to be similar in a number of ways, yes? So I have a spot of advice for you, if you don't mind.
Yes?
Next time you identify a dusty patch in an inaccessible location, please send for me.
Yeah, we don't need no accidents.
That's very kind, but I wouldn't want to bother someone as busy as you.
Nonsense. I'm keen to avoid a repeat performance of the tragedy of Miss Annette and the books.
Well, that would be a good tale to tell.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry about that. Right. Next time, I'll definitely call for you.
Indeed. I would never forgive myself if you managed to pull a whole bookcase over on yourself.
I promise
Yeah.
that won't happen. Most likely.
And she's not sure either.
Hey, Caspar. Can I ask you something?
Well, once again, Caspar's getting a lot of showing going on with his sports.
Well, hey there, Annette. What's on your mind?
Is there anything you pay particular attention to on the battlefield? Stuff you make sure not to mess up? I don't want to make any major mistakes again. So I've been thinking about how I can improve. But it's trickier than I thought. I was hoping you could give me some direction.
Nothing I can think of. Sometimes you just gotta mess up.
Hmm? Really? Nothing at all?
Nah, no matter how much you prepare, you're always gonna make mistakes.
And it's how you react to them is what matters, because if you make a mistake and never learn, well, you know what happens.
All you can do is quit worrying and try your best.
I guess that does sound like something you'd say. But I'm not sure how much use it is to me.
That's too bad. It's a great way to live. You worry about messing up, and all that worry makes you nervous, right? So being nervous on the battlefield is the reason you make mistakes you'd never make in training.
Well, yes. People's lives are on the line. If I mess up, they might actually die.
But that worry is what causes you to mess up.
When I think that my failures might put everyone in danger,
Ugh, you gotta quit doubting yourself. It's not helping. You're obsessing about failures that haven't even happened. What's the point in that? Sometimes you're gonna mess up no matter how hard you train. That's life.
Yep.
So what you're saying is, I should stop being afraid of failure and just try my hardest on the battlefield, like I do in training.
Was I not clear on that? You just gotta deal with your mistakes when you make them.
That really is just like you, Caspar. I'm starting to feel stupid for worrying so
Good.
much. You're so strong and confident. I really like that about you.
Aw, thanks, Annette. I think you're great too.
Okay, I'm gonna try following your example from now on. It's time I stopped moping around here and put everything I've got into training. Right, Caspar?
That's the spirit.
And I agree.
Let's get out there and train. I'll race you to the stables.
And now some stamina training.
There's nothing like a morning stroll to take in the fresh air. In the thicket there, is that a human foot? Ah! It moved! Someone help!
Sorry, Annette. I was really out.
Hey! You shouldn't surprise people like that. I thought you were an undead corpse. Why are you sleeping out here anyway? We're in the middle of a war. Doesn't that seem dangerous?
Middle of a war or no, you'll not defeat the Master of Dreams. He's a fiercely strong enemy.
Stop joking around. What are you even talking about?
And what is he dreaming about dreams?
No joking, I assure you. He is quite unstoppable. Or perhaps you know his weakness?
You really never change, do you? You sleep just as much as ever. Do you even remember what I told you?
You told me something? When?
Of course you don't. I told you that putting in effort
Is how you grow. Is that the one?
He just couldn't remember until she said it.
So, you do remember?
Should I not have remembered?
No, it's just, you should put your talents to use elsewhere, that's all.
The truth is, I place effort in what brings me joy. I'm happiest that way.
No, that's not... Okay, let me put it this way instead.
Hopefully he has a revelation from this because he is just too lazy.
Working hard for other people helps you grow as a person. Do you not get the urge to work hard for other people? Like when you helped me before?
Not as such. Why would I go through that effort? For what gain?
For the gain I mentioned. That it helps you grow as a person.
Oh, I see. Well, then continue working hard for my sake. For example, waking me up today.
And of course he decided to turn that back on her.
And I suppose I will try to do a little bit more for you, too. I find working for others to be annoying, yet I wish to make an exception for you. I hope that's all right.
Well, then she'll stop bothering him as much so he can get some sleep.
Just for me?
Indeed. You're the only person I'd bother helping. I could wear myself out helping you. Forever, maybe.
Now, when did Linhardt get that smooth?
What about it? I'll be there for you, and you can be there for me.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
What?
If we're doing our best for each other and all, then that's just a bit like... Just kind of like a marriage.
Huh. You know, I feel as if you might be able to wake me up every morning. No small feat, that.
As though I would marry a man who can't even get up in the morning.
Ooh, shots fired. Yeah, so that was another nice one. So I will do Flane and Sedeth in the next video. But we're just going to finish up with Ingrid supports here because it's just 3 of them.
Eating? In the dining hall. You?
What do you mean? The dining hall's where I do most of my eating.
If only the old version of you could hear you say that. It seems to me you've taken more care with your appearance of late, too. For once, you aren't covered in gravy and oil from head to toe. I'm impressed.
So Raphael has learned table manners.
Of course not, Ingrid. A proper knight has to be neat and tidy.
All right, what have you done with Raphael?
It's all thanks to you. You said I had to clean up if I wanted to be a knight, so I started being more careful. Do you think I have what it takes now?
You've certainly become more knightly than before. But there's plenty yet to do to become a proper knight. It's not as simple as eating where you're meant to and not being covered in gravy.
Maybe I'd have a better chance if I just married you.
What does that have to do with anything?
You're real cultured, that's all. You already taught me to be neat and tidy. I figured you could teach me a lot more about being a proper knight if I always had you around.
Well, she's already part of the steps there by changing him to be more knightly.
That would be quite the undertaking for me. Listen, Raphael, that's sweet of you. However, as I've said before, I've no intention to marry. Let's cast aside this talk of marriage, and instead embolden one another to be the best knights we can be.
She does not want to remember all the marriage proposals her father tries to set up for her.
You're right. Probably a better idea to just embolden each other instead. As long as I still get your help with becoming a proper knight.
While you're working to be more proper, I'll be working to strengthen myself, that I might become a greater knight than you.
Huh. I don't know about that. I'm pretty tough.
And the rivalry continues.
But I guess if anyone could beat me, it'd probably be you, Ingrid. Guaranteed.
Thank you, Raphael. That means a lot to me.
Now let's see what she has with Ignatz.
Good day, Ignatz. So, painting again?
Ingrid. Yes, I'm painting St. Saros again.
Look, I'm really sorry about the last time. It's my fault it turned out so, well, different.
No need to apologize. I appreciated the fresh input. It made me think.
That's kind of you to say, but no need to pull punches.
It's the truth. I'm so caught up in my own mind, I'd never have thought to try that.
Ignatz, I appreciate your attitude, but...
Yes?
There are times when it's okay to feel upset or angry. If you're feeling that way, it's always best to be honest.
And those are a couple of the emotions you do not want to bottle up.
But...
I understand the weight of what I did. I besmirched a sacred image, and it was a painting you were pouring your heart into. I got carried away, but I'd prefer if you had told me then and there that my request was uncalled for.
I'm not angry. I could never get angry with you. I'm sorry.
Why are you apologizing? I'm the one apologizing.
Oh, sorry.
Stop saying sorry! Never mind.
Yeah.
Forgive me. I came here to apologize, and now I'm being sharp with you.
Don't worry. It's my fault, really. I'm not very good at expressing myself.
Ignatz is another with self-esteem issues, and he managed to get a stubborn person like Ingrid to kind of get a bit sharp with him.
I never intended to be such a bother. I think I'll leave you to it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Ignatz, you need to stand up for yourself a bit more.
Still contemplating, I see.
Without so much as a word, you've read me through and through. Since last we spoke, I've been thinking a lot about my future. How I want to spend my life. It's a lot to think about, and I haven't entirely sorted out where I'm going. I think I need more time to grow.
And I think everyone does as well.
On the contrary, you have given this honest and sincere thought. I am quite impressed, actually.
You're impressed with me?
Worry about the future is not unique to youth. It is human nature. At the risk of being overbearing, might I offer you one more piece of advice?
Well, people, here's another great piece of advice from Mentor Sedeth.
Of course.
Have you considered what your life would be like had you not been born with a crest?
Hmm.
Do you suppose that you would have been ordinary? Insignificant? I do not think so. Even without a crest, such a promising young lady as yourself would have a bright future ahead of her.
Sedith, I
am not typically inclined to flattery, so I hope you will take my words to heart. Have faith in yourself.
And once again, he gave her some good advice to think of how things could have been, and how it would not change a lot of things. So it's interesting, Sedeth's thoughts, but of course he has the experience of age.
If you trade that faith for a misplaced pride in your crest, I will have to reassess your character.
I've no intention of doing such a thing. It will take me time and experience, but I will find my path and walk it proudly.
I am glad to hear it, Ingrid.
Yeah. And frankly, when it comes to the Church of Saros characters, the mentors, Sedeth is really the best one. So, gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so in the next video, I'm going to have about 9 supports there. We'll see how things go, because I still have to work on Byleth supports. So, let me just quickly check the map to see who's around. Up here. So, Hanneman, Manuela, and Cyril. So, let's see Byleth supports. Hanneman's done, Manuela's done. So, I'll just show you all what you need to give to Cyril here. What items to make sure you give him to get the better support points.
Lady Rhea must be so... We got
So, gifts. Now, for Cyril, the best ones to give him are Baby's Breath, Smoked Meat, and Hunting Dagger. So, I have a lot here. But let's give him a smoked meat.
This is for me? Thanks.
Hunting dagger.
This is for me? Thanks.
And let's just quickly check supports. And I unlocked it like that, so he is done. Like, that's how quick it is. But for Cyril, make sure... For inventory, let's go to storehouse. So for his supports, make sure you do not give him a History of Fodlan, a Legends of Chivalry, or a Monarch study book. Those ones will take away support points. So that was just something I felt it would be a very good thing to explain. So like I said, supports for Byleth. So he still has Caspar, Raphael, Ignat, Marianne, Sedeth, Alois, Catherine, and Schmier. So before I end it, let's just go and warp to the cathedral. So I'll give Ignat some gifts here as well.
Speaking of which,
The great, I believe it, in other words, so if...
So make sure you do not give him the Monarch Studies book or the training weights. But for the best points to get from him, you can give him a Forget-Me-Not, which is of course a plant you can get.
Thank you so much, Professor.
Yes. And then another thing is you want to give him the ancient coins if you have any.
Thank you so much, Professor.
Now let's see how it works in the support here. Not quite there yet.
The great, I believe it, in other words, so if...
So you can also give him a ceremonial sword. And of course, everyone likes owl feathers.
Thank you so much, Professor.
So he will also take a goddess statuette, but he will really like a landscape
Thank you so much,
painted. So that was basically all the items to give him for his support, so. And we're done with him, nice. So now I have Alois, Catherine, Shamir, Sedeth, and Marianne and Raphael. And then of course, Caspar. So we'll just run to the dining hall, well, the entrance hall, because that'll be the next area. So we will end the video here, and in my next video we'll go through the supports for Blaine and Seteth, and then give some gifts to Caspar and Rhea. Just need to be careful because now I have unlocked them. They're just going to randomly appear. So this is Zach of SomeDudePlays.com, and as always, to beat the YouTube algorithm, please like, subscribe, and comment because it likes when there's more user interaction. Make sure notifications are turned on. Visit SomeDudePlays.com, and remember, we are all legends. So have a great day, everyone.